Hey, we're live. All right, everybody. Welcome to the workshop number 153. This is a comedy safe space, so if you want to say the N word or anything, I'm not going to tell your parents. I'm Breach. You're up first. Your topic is addiction, right?
Yeah.
All
So,
right, sweet.
hi
Let me know
everyone.
your.
Okay, so my name is Ambrish, and I'm happy to be here. I have an addictive or a destructive personality. I want to get famous, but if I do, I fear I won't be able to stay away from the bad things of show business. Like at this point in my life, I'm not doing cocaine because of my high religious morals, and because I have no money. And I want to do movies, and I like posting Instagram stories, and they're both great, but they're not really a good match. I'm just too honest to be on them, or have them as together. Like if I become famous, this is what my Instagram story would look like. Hey guys, I just came back from shooting a movie. I'm about to go to sleep. Before coming home, I did cocaine, acid, and Molly. Hopefully I'll wake up tomorrow. Good night. you know I don't know. I don't really, I haven't really done drugs that much before. Like I haven't tried many, and because of that I sometimes find it hard to connect with people, like younger people. Like recently I was talking to this girl in a park, and I asked her, like, what do you do for fun? And she just very casually, like it's no big deal, goes, Molly. Now, I was expecting something like I like to read books or listen to music, but I didn't expect fucking ecstasy. I don't know. I don't really know that much about drugs, so I asked her, like, what's Molly like, and she told me that it makes you very tranquil, and it gives you an orgasm for 6 hours. And I was just, as I was just trying to just comprehend this new drug that I just found out about, I went, okay, so it makes you feel calm, and it gives you an orgasm for 6 hours. How do I get it? You know? All right, that's all I have on that.
All right, yay, sweet,
My
Woo!
awesome.
God, that was worse than any show I've ever done.
Hey,
Fucking, not
Yes,
even
you
one
sweet.
laugh.
survived.
Not even one laugh. Oh my fucking.
You survived, dude. You did it. You did the thing.
You
Oh no no
soldiered
no
He
no.
has that.
soldiered
Oh
on.
no no. It's all cool. It's all cool.
All cool.
Yeah. So any feedback?
I liked your
I love
6 hour
how you
or
call it Molly.
Hmm?
I like how you call it Molly.
How I called
Like,
it, Molly?
yeah, no one calls it Molly anymore.
Is that
What do they
true?
call
Everyone.
it? But how would you know? You're living in South Africa.
That's true. The last time I saw Molly was when I was overseas. We don't get drugs here.
Okay,
People
that's
still
see.
call it Molly.
So how would you know?
I,
But
Because I would.
I was actually talking to a girl in a park. I was just hitting on her. And
Yeah.
I asked her, like, what do you do for fun? And she just casually goes, MDMA. I'm like, okay, you know.
Or what if
So
I
that.
was picturing you hide in the bushes to talk to her, and Molly's the name of her attack dog.
Sorry, what? Sorry.
I was picturing you in the park, like hopping out of the bushes to talk to her, and she said Molly, but it was the name of her attack dog.
you thought it was drugs, but it turned out to be her attack dog.
Oh, so she does her dog for fun? What are you saying, dude?
No, she was saying that because you were creeping her out. Never mind.
No, no.
He
You
he
just
wasn't.
said.
I don't think he was taking the like you saw her as a friend who was talking to you. He's taking the position that not taking a position. Excuse me, but essentially he's when you make that initial contact with her, that she
Mm.
mistakes your intentions and instead of referring to a drug, is actually referring to her attack dog. I hate when I have to start translating for people who speak English. I do apologize for that. Have I got that
Yeah.
right? Am I Bilal?
Yeah,
No,
you're on. You're on.
I just think that maybe there's something wrong with the headphones, because I can't hear you guys clearly at all. I don't know. Maybe the volume is down. Anyway,
I liked your 6-hour orgasm. Occurred to me that the one quick line that you got in there, which is 2 hours better than Viagra. So you can, when you're talking about a 6-hour orgasm, you can use that comparative basis and should be able to get a laugh with that, I would think.
okay.
In fact, you might even.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Kylie.
Thanks. I think if you want to add on to that initial joke about the girl in the park, which is, I do think you can explore that. That's quite funny. You think you said something about you were just expecting her to say she likes reading or something like that. So maybe you can almost add something on along the lines of like, yeah, I guess if I want to meet a girl that doesn't do drugs, I'm gonna have to go to a bookstore or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, I guess. But the whole joke is, basically, I was expecting something like that. I like to read books. You're basically saying that I could add a tag later after saying, I didn't expect fucking ecstasy. After that, I could add a tag later that, I should maybe go to a bookstore or something to find a girl who doesn't do drugs. But
you could even bring the joke up later and be like, yeah, I continued dating. I even went to a bookstore, chatted to this really nice girl who's holding out on a War and Peace. Turns out she's into heroin or something like that.
Yeah, maybe instead of meeting her in a park, I could just say I met her in a bookstore. Yeah, I think that would work. That help the punchline. Yeah. All right. Did my internet go down? Or,
no.
Are we
we all decided simultaneously to sit perfectly still and say nothing.
Yeah, that's okay.
I think my screen froze. Anybody else got anything to add, I guess?
Nothing that hasn't already been said, no.
It's an interesting concept, and you probably want to explore it a little bit more. But it does have, I think, a lot of different areas you go to. A little bit of it, I think, was maybe predictable. But if you move away from it, maybe the whole where do you learn about drugs? If you don't know drugs, where do you actually learn about drugs? What if you ask my friends? Well, my friends are, I don't know, religious figures or whatever. They could, the best they could do was this. There's a number of areas you might be able to explore, anyways.
I mean, which part do you did you just which part do you think is predictable in what I just did?
I think it's difficult because when you're doing drugs, and this is an old man's opinion, so you take this for whatever it's worth. When you do drug humor, you're doing drug humor that's already been done. So it's really hard to get a laugh out of heroin or any of the other stuff, and unless you can find a new way to relate it. But
I mean, I'm not really.
If you don't know drugs, that's really kind of you can do that. You can build on that, but some of it seemed a little bit
like which punchline would you say is hack?
I'm not calling it hack. I'm not going to say that. No, but it's you know what? Because you'd have to do the whole thing over, and I'd have to be making notes, and I'm not going to have you do that. But I think if you just consider whether take any drug you've got in use in there and say, is that something I have original, or is that something I've more or less heard before? And it's just human nature to take, because there's, you're taking something that people do know and you can relate to it. But it just seems to me that there's other places you could have gone that you didn't go. And okay, let's maybe take it from that standpoint. That's one man's opinion.
No, I mean, I think that's an interesting opinion. Where else, could I have gone? Because these are just personal stories and things about me. I'm not really, making I don't really have a stance on drugs, or I'm not saying anything about drugs. It's just, some anecdote, one anecdote basically in there about the Molly talking to the girl. I wrote 2 jokes about that. Then there's 2 jokes about how I am destructive. And I have
the destructive part works, but maybe that's the place you have to build on a little more, so that the rest of it kind of follows in sequence. That would kind of make a little bit more sense. Somehow maybe why? Because of course that raises the question. I am destructive. Why are you at that age suddenly learning about drugs?
Yeah. And what's the difference between you're destructive and someone doing drugs destructive?
Yeah.
Not that you have a stance either way, but you could also work with that concept as well.
I mean, I think it's just destructive to do drugs, right?
I wouldn't challenge that. No.
Okay, cool.
Well, do you know about crackhead strength?
Go
Sorry?
on.
You know about crackhead strength?
No.
It's like apparently crack makes you really, really strong, or like a crackhead will fall out of like a third-story window and then just be fine because their body like is slack or some shit. I don't know how it works,
That's
but
amazing.
it's just a thing. It's very weird.
So
They'll
there's
get, like it's like having
something-
superpowers. Sorry.
It's a similar thing to like when you're drunk. Apparently, people that are in a car accident and they're drunk are more likely to survive or have less damage because also their body is more like malleable but fluid.
They're slow in reacting and becoming and bracing themselves, and as a result, I've heard of that
Okay,
too.
so
It's
basically
valuable.
what Kylie is saying, if you're going to, drive drunk, make sure that you're wasted so you survive.
Yeah,
Pretty
make
much.
sure you're totally inebriated. That's the only way.
All right, that's good advice. If any kids are watching, be wasted.
If any adults are watching, because they're the ones that drive. So
Yeah, what if it turns out drunk driving is safer actually for the person like in the car? Like if you get into a crash.
safer for the person that's drunk, not so safe for the person that's sober.
Actually, that does have some actual validity to it. Individuals that are usually impaired and in motor vehicle accidents suffer far less injuries than the other individuals that they tackle.
Yeah, what if the people they hit are also drunk or they're crackheads?
You'll have to do a doodle poll and figure that out.
Yeah,
Is it?
You do understand they don't have superpowers, right?
crackheads apparently do.
Well, limited superpowers.
I mean, I've seen pictures of, like supposed crackheads carrying fridges on their backs and stuff. Like they're maybe stealing it or something. I mean, that's what was implied in the pictures. I don't know.
My brother is a cop, and he talked about when you had to restrain a crackhead because they do. Basically, you hit them and they don't realize they've been hit. They just keep going, and they do have a certain amount of adrenal strength. Adrenaline is kind of pumping through them, so that's the reason why they do seem a little bit stronger. But yeah,
I also
weren't
grew
from-
up in Detroit. We got plenty of crackheads to test out these theories on.
Damn. I gotta try crack now.
Yeah, you should actually.
You have to, yeah.
Really.
Let us
You
know how
have
it
to
goes.
once in a lifetime. I have to. What?
Yeah, why not? You're gonna die anyway.
Why not? Then you can go steal the fridge. The possibilities are just endless.
yeah, I would save it till you got a move job. Pretty much, that's what I would do.
Okay.
That might be
So
your joke, but that might be one of your jokes, by the way, about talking about crack, how it makes you crack strong. I want to try it, but I'm waiting till I've got a move job.
Yeah,
Oh
or like,
no,
what if you
no.
start a moving company, but you just only hire crackheads. And then
There you go.
Them crack.
Oh,
Now you're the
that's a good
best.
sketch.
There
That
you
would
go.
be a good sketch.
Yeah. Any more feedback, you guys?
I'm done.
What the fuck is going on?
What?
Maybe he's on crack now. I don't know.
Looking for something.
The dealer's at the door.
Yeah, he's like,
Can you Uber Eats crack?
Probably can with the right attitude.
Yeah, Uber drugs. You don't have that yet?
Uber Direct? No, sorry.
Instead of Uber Eats, it's Uber Tweet.
Uber Tweaks. I like that. Uber Tweaks.
What's the difference
you
between
guys have Uber there?
You
what's
I
the
didn't know what Uber is.
what's the
Saw it on a
difference
movie
I
between
know they had.
what's the difference between crack and cocaine? Like cocaine is the one that you do with your nose, right? You go basically, like in the movies, you go. But what's crack then?
You
What's the
smoke
difference
it.
between oats and oatmeal? Anyway,
I think crack is less pure or something like that.
This might be a Wikipedia look.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Kylie surely knows a lot about crack.
You betcha. When you don't get access to something, you really want to know everything about it, so you don't look foolish in a
That's why
comedy
that's
joke.
that's why you moved to South Africa, because you were a drug lord here.
So, yes,
And,
exactly. Mountains
they
of
kicked you out.
cocaine. That's true. It kicked me out and
All right.
put me here. And it's cool.
Any more
Anyway.
feedback you got?
No, I got all my notes out.
All right, sweet. Michael, you're up next. Let me know what your topic is, and when you're ready to begin, I'll start your time.
My topic is building, and I wrote a bunch of 1 and 2 liners over the next little bit here, and we'll see if they can go anywhere. Okay, go ahead. I buy my weed equipment from a second-rate search engine. I call it my Bing Bong. Look, apartment buildings are just tiny houses stacked on top of each other. Stop arguing with me about this. I bet Bill Ding is a Chinese American. Good old William Ding. I've heard he's attractive. Wouldn't mind a little ding dong. No, just kidding. I hope it's huge. Anyway. We should build intramural soccer teams based on whether the player refers to a door chime as ding dong or bing bong. Nothing in today's climate is currently more important than figuring out who can run and kick better based on a doorbell. Bicycles built for 2 exclude polygamists, and nobody seems to be doing anything about it. It is offensive. I used to build Legos as a child. Well, Chinese kids did, but I put each piece together. That's offensive. At least a few of them had to be Indian. I want to build a better relationship with my girlfriend, but I don't know how to be that other guy she sees. I want to build a better relationship with my father, but I don't know how to be that other guy he sees. It's my brother, you jerks. Anyway. You know, speaking of which, building a set is a lot like writing down things you think are funny. That's it.
Nice. Woo!
All right.
You guys have any feedback?
Just 2 good jokes, very solid. The bicycle built for 2, and the girlfriend. I like both of those. Those both jumped right out at me as very strong.
Mm-hmm.
Are you normally a 2-line comedian, or is that what you normally do?
Generally, yeah. Like I'll put together a couple of topics or what have you, but for the most part, it just runs 1, 2, maybe 3 in a row.
Okay, basically a joke salad thing.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that bicycle joke is amazing. Gold.
Yep.
Good. That one I liked.
I'm trying to think of like a play on words because like tandem bicycle. There's probably something in there.
Yeah, I don't really know what to add because those are just one-liners, set up punchline. So I can't really add anything into that other than maybe a tag or something. I'm trying to think of a tag, but.
Yeah, I like you took like building that way though, like and not just like a building or like
Yeah, I know where you're going. It would have bored me to tears if that's all I did. Was like talk about skyscrapers or some garbage.
Yeah, a lot that's what a lot of people do. When you get a word that means more than one thing, you're just like, oh, I'm not gonna do the one way building.
Did you do something about Legos and building? Did I miss that, or did I start to think you did something and then I just simply zoned out for a minute?
Yeah, I used to build. The gag goes, I used to build Lego as a child, while Chinese kids did, but I put each piece together. That's offensive. At least a few of them had to be from India.
I feel that there's something more you could do with the Lego angle there, but I don't have anything constructive to offer in that direction. Maybe about 200 Lego sets and built yourself a house. Affordable housing, 200 Lego sets. Yeah.
What if you built like a girlfriend out of Legos or something?
Built a girlfriend out of Lego.
Yeah, you
Or
fucking
built yourself out of Lego, and then you can be like, now she does see what she wants to see.
1024.
She like built it herself.
Hang on a sec.
You built a girlfriend out of Lego. She built herself a guy out of Lego, but and she can take parts of him home. Something along that angle.
Yeah, it's funny.
Oh,
There's
that
a fun one. Any more feedback, you guys?
I'm done.
All right, I guess we're gonna move on then. That was a really short one. Kylie, you're up next. Let me know when you're ready to begin.
Oh,
Up against-
cheat. Okay, cool. So my topic is recycling. And I feel nervous because I haven't practiced enough because I wanted to sleep instead. So let's see what happens. Okay, cool. Let's go. Recycling. So I was thinking about what's the difference between recycling and upcycling. And I figured it's just about the amount of money spent at the end of the day. And when you think about who likes to recycle and who spends a lot of money, it's kind of like two groups of people. There's vegans and then also cyclists. You know, the two people that are like the most irritating and it's basically in a cult. But with vegans, it's more that they have special needs. You know, they need to eat only plant-based diets and look after the environment, and they think they're better because they recycle. But have you guys ever been around a vegan for a weekend or somebody that like eats a lot of vegetables? Because their shit really does stink. Like, what smells worse? What the vegan leaves in the trash can or what they leave in their toilet? Neither. It's probably that really foul smelling cauliflower that they've got for lunch that they're going to eat in the break room with you. And that's just really awful. And they're probably not even going to finish it. No one finishes their vegetables. Which made me think, okay, but could we do something with these leftover vegetables? Could we recycle them somewhere? And you probably can't. But if you could, what I would want to do is I would want to recycle all of those vegetables and make them into like vegetable type bricks, right? And then I want to make like this vegetable house. And then I get all those like high respecting vegans and just get them to move into this metropolis of recycled housing, because that's half the problem solved, right? They're out of sight, they're out of mind. We don't get to see them, and that's really great. But the thing about these vegetarian houses and vegans living in them is that the problem is still there. You know, it still exists. I don't know if you know this, but plastic never dies. The amount of plastic that started in the earth is still here today. So no matter how much we recycle, it never leaves. We can literally never get rid of it. We can look away, kind of like what we do with Brexit or the Middle East, or like how when you go to bed and you lie awake at night and you think of all the mistakes that you've ever made, they're still there, but you know, you can just kind of get it out of sight and out of mind. Cool. Has anyone heard of the term trash panda? No. Well, I hadn't heard of it either. Basically, a trash panda is a really shit human being. I thought to myself, what constitutes a trash panda? I think I can still work on this joke a bit. Basically, what constitutes a trash panda? And is there something different between a trash panda and a conscious recycler? Is it like one person who is a bit shitty, but they have the possibility to kind of like get better, but the other people are so shitty, we must just throw them away? Cool. Oh yeah, like so shitty, we must just throw them away. Like we must just basically repress them, kind of like do something like a really bad feeling. Cool. Oh yes, I've always thought that like what's in your trash can says a lot about you, but I feel like Google's data mining on me is going to beg to differ, because unlike my trash, which I can throw away and get out of sight, out of mind, my browser history cannot be deleted. And I know this, and I know that's a problem because I'm getting a lot of Google targeted ads. Basically, they're targeting me to go for therapy. They're targeting me to start recycling, and they're targeting me to join a celibate church. And I thought to myself, I think I can combine. I think I can start like recycling if I reuse, reduce, and recycle by doing all three during sex. Because with condoms, you can just turn them inside out, use them twice, and when you're done, recycle them. Perfect. I also like to recycle by knowing that I've recycled my way through Tinder, because I've recycled my way through so much that I recognize everybody on there when I go back. In South Africa, at least, we're much smaller, excuse me. But I do try and be like earth conscious and look after the planet. And in an attempt to do that, I've purchased one of those reusable shopping bags that are like really nice and sturdy. Of course, every time I go to the shops, I realize I've forgotten it at home. So now I have like a gazillion of them sitting in my house, which is just great. Cool. So what is the best way to recycle? I think the best way to be more earth conscious is to buy a bicycle so you can lower your carbon emission. And you can just be one of those really annoying cyclists who basically just don't obey traffic rules. They die because they're sober and not inebriated. And then what happens is when they die, when someone's prepping their funeral, they find all of those numerous plastic bags that we all have. They fashion it into like an upcycled coffin. And then that way, you've not only succeeded in the issue of getting things out of sight, out of mind, but now you've contributed to 100% less trash. And you've actually proved that the difference between recycling and upcycling is your commitment to ingenuity. That's all I have.
Oh, yay, sweet, awesome.
All right.
You guys have any feedback?
I always knew trash pandas as raccoons. Is
Yeah,
that?
that's what. Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah. You guys
Okay.
have raccoons?
I was going to ask that
No,
too.
we don't.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that too.
Do you have anything that
Nope.
goes into? Do you have anything that does terrorize urban garbage?
Homeless people.
I don't
you
know
didn't
if I'd
have to
quite
go
characterize them that
homeless.
way.
Hmm.
I
That's
like
terrible.
what you,
I'm sorry, but that does happen. Yeah.
I like what you were talking about the vegan people, because I just felt that there's a number of places you could go with that. It occurred to me one when you were talking about, you could probably say something along the lines of that vegans say that we throw away enough food to feed a family of 4, yet I never see a vegan going through my garbage.
That's funny. Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, I was trying to make some reference to raccoons and vegans going through your garbage, but I didn't really have anything. I liked your recycling on Tinder. I think that was kind of a unique concept. I thought that was pretty good. I liked that. And there's probably room too about vegans who there's this new trend, and they have these natural coffin materials that they can be buried in, and they recycle and they become whatever. I don't know. There might be something to go with that. But I just remember about the natural coffins and turning the bodies into compost. It happens within 2 years, they say, but I had nowhere to go with it. But just throw it out there in case you have a brilliant insight and can make it come to life. That's all I got.
Tofu coffin. Tofu coffin.
Tofu. Ah, nice.
Cool.
What are coffins even for? Like, what do you need a coffin?
For impressed people.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, that's
oh,
for
we
people that are still living, right? They're not for the dead. Oh, they can't be.
Yeah.
I'm going to be bubble wrapped when I'm buried. I think that's good enough.
What a fun burial! Pop, 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 pop. Pop.
No, that's your kid. They're like, oh, pop, 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 pop.
Oh, that was quick.
Not funny, because you got to dig the hole bigger if you want to put a coffin in there. You know, like it's fucking a waste of space. It's like a little room.
Well, I think Big Funeral has got their grips into the death market. You're not going to be able to change that.
Yeah. Any more feedback, you guys?
Yeah, I couldn't really hear her properly. Maybe something's wrong with my headphones, I think. And yeah.
You're coming in clear, but you're a little hollow.
Sorry?
I say you're coming in clear, but you're a little hollow. And you're
Okay.
obviously you're still having trouble hearing too. Okay.
Yeah, there's
I can
something
speak
wrong with the
louder.
audio. No, I think it's something wrong with my headphones, or like the volume isn't high enough because I just can't hear it. The only way I can hear it is when I press the headphone right next to my ear. and I don't know why that's happening. You know,
Why
Are
don't
you
you
on-
put your headphones off?
Are you on a PC or are you on an Apple? Are you on a PC or an Apple product, computer, or your cell phone?
I've got a Samsung.
So
I
you're on
think-
your cell phone.
That's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
PC.
Just
Wait,
make sure your volume's all the ways up on the side.
I mean the volume. I mean, come on, I'm an Indian guy. I know tech support.
I was not going to
I
go
know.
there.
I know
All
it's
right,
an
well-
easy fucking joke, and I feel like a hack, but I had to do it because it was right there. You pushed the ball up, and I was ready to dunk, so I had to do it.
Low hanging fruit. You have to take it.
No, you don't.
In that case, have you
But
even
yeah,
tried turning
the
it off
volume-
and on again?
Sorry,
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
the whole thing.
The whole thing. I mean, don't
One
actually
moment.
do.
One moment.
I think he's trying it.
Oh, okay. I was just kidding, but yeah.
It sometimes
I guess
works.
we'll just wait around for the two of them to get back.
Okay.
All right.
I'm still here. I'm just out of frame.
You're just out of screen, off screen.
Yeah, back in a
Oh.
second.
Is that
Do we
is that a
sound better?
ghost? What the hell?
Actually, it sounded a lot better.
It's
Testing 1, 2.
pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I don't know your product, so I can't recommend anything.
I'll just push the headphone, closer to my ear.
I'll speak loud.
No,
I'll
that's okay.
speak
That's okay.
loud.
You look like you're fucking like a DJ or something, like.
Moi?
Yeah, DJs do that, don't they? With the headphones.
Oh,
Like
they.
they spray
I don't
those
think.
discs.
Yeah, I don't think they're trying to listen to the music. I think they're just trying to act cool. Yeah, I'm doing something creative, but they're not really doing anything. Let's be
I don't
honest.
actually think. I don't think they're listening to music. I think they're trying to block out their music. So it's like it's so bad that they want to project it to
Yeah.
other people. Like an
All right.
eyesore from.
Don't explain the joke now. It was good.
Okay.
It was a good joke.
Thanks.
Hmm.
Cool. Okay. I guess have any more feedback on that wonderful set of. Yeah, I felt like I was like at like some kind of UN conference or something. Listening to that, it was like perfectly like planned out and shit. It was like I don't know.
Thanks. I'll keep it on ice for my invite to the UN. UN, if you're listening, I'm ready.
All right, Jimmy, you're up next. Let me know when you're ready to begin. What your topic is, and I'll start. your
My
time.
topic is weddings and let her rip. I've been married now for 48 years, and I cannot think of a year where I wasn't happy to be married to my wife. And that's just one of the perks of dementia. I actually got married to her because she was the very first woman I proposed to who said yes. And we just got lucky, and she turned out to have the same interests as me. Prior to that, I came this close to marrying an inflatable doll. We only had one thing in common, but it seemed like enough. I think the point I'm trying to make here is if you are going to get married, you need to make an informed decision based on mutual interests. Okay? Having a compatible tattoo is not a good enough reason to get married. It's enough to go on a killing spree, but it's not enough to get married. Now, if you are going to get married, I think there have to be some ground rules, particularly if you're going to take and do an exotic destination wedding. The first rule there would be you have to be able to locate it on a map beforehand. That will effectively rule out weddings in places like Machu Picchu or former communist countries. Let's be honest, nobody really knows where Uzbekistan is. You might as well go to Mordor to get married, basically. And you don't need a theme for a wedding. The wedding is the theme. You don't have to get a classic limousine to drive you around and have the wedding party dressed like it's the roaring 20s. That is not a wedding. That is cosplay at Comic-Con. Now, when I got married, we didn't have any money, so the guys held a stag for me to raise some cash. Now, basically, a stag is cards and dirty movies. It's the one chance a guy has to watch dirty movies with his friends and not feel like a total perv. It's the one chance a guy has to realize that no matter how screwed up his sexual preferences, his friends are even more screwed up than him. This is the reason why I will not go to a stag and doe unless they are showing dirty movies. I do it for the groom. Now, there is the question of presents, of course. A gift registry is very handy, but if your gift registry has things like his and hers toaster, a pair of weed whackers, a set of 2 Instant Pots, you may not have the commitment necessary for a long-term relationship. And just to be clear, I really resent giving a nice present to somebody and the wedding doesn't last more than a year. I just think if I give a nice present, the bride and the groom have to commit to a minimum of 10 years. Otherwise, I want a receipt. If it breaks up early, I think they have to prorate out my present and refund me the difference. I think that is entirely fair. I really do. Now, if you are going to get married and you're going to have an officiant there who's a professional to run it for you, do not write your own vows under any circumstances. Don't do that. Most of the people getting married today are young. They grew up with texting. And of course, they're never very clear with their texting. So they have to have an emoji on the end in order to explain what it is they're texting people about. So basically, if your wedding vows include things like at the end, like smiley face, wink face, excrement, eggplant, it just doesn't sound very sincere. And for the record, I have no idea what I just said. Now, if you happen to have a relative in a nursing home and you want to include them in the wedding, by all means, go and visit them, but do not, under any circumstance, send the bride in on her own. It's her day. She's dressed in white. She's glowing. She looks like an angel. And in a place like that, she might be mistaken for one. We lose more residents that way. And I think the one area that we, as a society, have to change things is the wedding speeches, because basically there are only 2 speeches that stand out. The one is going to be the best man, who is going to try and embarrass the groom with stories that nobody in the audience can relate to. And then the maid of honor, who has potential latent lesbian tendencies, will cry through her speech because her best friend is now getting married. That is not entertainment. The only person who should be allowed to speak at a wedding is a drunken uncle. Drunken uncles are the best. They are entertainment. That is the end. Somewheres there's another joke that goes with drunken uncles, but that's where I got. The end.
Woo!
Hey, sweet.
Yay.
You guys have any feedback?
The lesbian chick that you were talking about, the dyke. She wanted to, maybe she wanted to fuck the groom. That's why she was crying.
I was
I
going
don't
on.
know.
I was going with the her best friend is getting married, and she cries throughout the whole thing because she's betraying lesbian tendencies.
Oh, you were
Okay.
working it
It's
that
not-
way.
But it
Okay.
clearly needs work if I have to be explaining that to everybody.
Right, so you need to
I-
explain them
I
how
got that
lesbians
one.
work.
You,
Okay.
I got that.
It's not. Yeah.
So I really liked the weddings don't need a theme, because that's so true. Like the wedding is the theme. That's absolutely that's gold. And then I thought, when you were talking about like if you're gonna buy a nice gift for the wedding party for the couple, they need to
Mhm.
last at least 10 years. I was wondering if maybe changing that to, or just thinking about editing it to like they need to last at least until the warranty ends or something like that.
oh, I like that. That's actually a good line. Last
Thanks.
until warranty ends.
What was the one? The one punchline was about cosplay at Comic-Con.
That was the linking to the weddings as a theme. and you can't don't have a classic limousine and have the wedding party dressed like it's the Roaring Twenties. That's not a wedding. That's cosplay at Comic-Con.
Could you get rid of at Comic-Con? Just keep it at cosplay?
Yeah, I could. Will people make that connection? Is that strong enough in our? Is that culturally strong enough that people will make that connection? That all you need to say is cosplay?
It is for me.
It is for you.
Yeah.
Did
Okay.
you guys have the Roaring Twenties?
Whoa.
Yeah.
No, you're in them, my friend.
Hey.
Anything else?
Yeah. One of the lines that I really, really liked that kind of snuck in there a bit was one of the first people I proposed to. I got a kick out of that.
Okay. Great.
I don't know if that was intended as seriously a gag or, but
No. Sadly, it is actually true.
oh, is it? Okay. Well, it gives the impression that there were several. Thankfully, out of this first trial run, I happened to get one. All right.
I like the thing about the murder spree with the matching tattoos.
That was actually I rather enjoyed that one too.
Yeah. That seems like it could
I
be a
like
good
the
setup
picture
for
one.
like a.
Well, I actually when I do my other thing, I'm going to do a thing that actually is about tattoos that might be able to work into. So, but yeah, it's nice to know that it got a reaction from you.
Yeah, it was like yeah, great.
What was the line directly after "nice present to somebody"? You cut out just briefly there, and then I caught back on.
Nice present to somebody. The line was, and while we're on the subject of presents, I really resent when I buy somebody something nice and the marriage doesn't last a year. If I buy you something nice, then I think you owe it to me to stay married for at least 10 years. Otherwise, I want a receipt. If the marriage doesn't work out, then I want my present prorated and you have to refund me the difference. I don't think that's whatever.
What if people were like pretending to be still married just so they didn't have to return all the presents?
Oh,
Or maybe
interesting.
they're divorcing each other and marrying other people just so they can, keep themselves afloat.
Or like
Like
maybe
if-
that's how they get all their kitchen appliances. Like
That's
Yeah.
that's actually where I was trying to figure out if I could go somewhere else with that joke that about the gift registry and asking for 2 of everything, which makes it sound like you're presetting yourself up for failure, that you're going to have to move on. But that could be an interesting concept too.
Yeah, like they're basically building a racket and they have a general store now where they sell all these appliances that they get from, divorcing and remarrying, divorcing and remarrying. I don't know. Might be too much of an exaggeration, but I guess you can work
Like-
it, work it.
Oh, how about something along the line? I hate when I see my gift on eBay.
Or like they say something. You know how they say like something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. Like what if they had like a different store for each one? Like there's a store full of blue things. I'll go to that store. Any more feedback, you guys?
I got nothing.
I guess we move on.
Okay, I guess it's my turn. My topic is like water cans. Okay, yeah, I think it's water cans. Let me see. Alrighty. Okay, water cans. First of all, okay, water can let's put the water in the thing that something that can be easily corroded by water and shit. Like water cans are a really bad idea because like if you need a water can, it means like your plants aren't getting enough water, and if they don't get enough water, then why are you fucking even growing them in that area? Like you shouldn't. It's fucking abuse, you know. Like you shouldn't be like fucking bringing something into the world and then like throwing water on it just to keep it in that fucking miserable state. Like if the earth isn't like, you know, conducive to the life of that plant, like I mean you should let it die. Isn't that like a natural selection is? You know, you're not supposed to interfere with shit. I'm trying to say water cans are a crime against God. Like I don't care. Like, oh, we need corn for winter. Like, nah. I mean, if it didn't rain, like, sorry, go sacrifice your kid or something. I don't know. That's how you really get plants to continue living. It's not fucking water cans. I wonder how, like, at what point, like, they were like, hey, let's stop like sacrificing random shit and make like a can for water. When did they make that correlation? They're like, oh yeah, man, we just murder. I'm trying to think of an old name, but old Namey over here, and he just, God will be like, oh, thanks for murdering that kid. I fucking hated that kid. That was what I wanted. All right, here's the rain again. But how fucked up would that be? Like, the guy just like, I don't like them. I don't like that sheep. I'm just gonna withhold rain until you kill it. I don't know. Water can. Yeah, like, cause water cans are just like, I mean, let me see. I want like a juice can or something, like a can of juice, or like one of those like hamster water dispenser. Like, imagine like drinking out. It'd be like having a shower of like juice or something. Like if someone like handed you a water can full of drink, and then you just like drink out of there. I feel like that'd be preferable to like a glass. All right, I'm done. I don't have anything else. That was weird. Any feedback, you guys?
That was hilarious. It was like when I first performed on stage. I didn't remember, I don't know if the target is going. I'm not saying anything bad about you, but it reminded me of, yeah. I don't know. Any feedback, guys?
Oh, what, man, dude! I spent like fucking 3 years on that set, man.
You're the first person I've ever heard came down very strong on the side of deserts. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
I did like your comparison you made for sacrifices to watering cans, and there's probably somewhere to go with that along the lines of the people that had relatives that were sacrificed and now they got the watering cans who's going to go, what the hell? Why couldn't you have thought about this a year later when Marty was still around? No, Marty's gone now and I've got a watering can. And I noticed that after we killed Marty, it still didn't rain. You had to kill Billy, Joan. Then you found the watering can.
So I hope
Speaking
you
of
find this. I was just thinking about a watering can, and like, I don't know if you wanted to make this kind of joke, but I was just thinking like, oh, a watering can, the only spout that exists where it's more acceptable to empty it really quickly than any other kind of spout. I don't know. As in like a spout, as soon as it's finished delivering its water, you want to get your watering down as quickly as possible. Anyway.
Hey.
The watering can, the penis of all containers.
There we go. Thanks.
Let me see. Where is the penis? The penis of all containers.
I don't know that the penis is a container.
Well, it's
So much as
Well, it's just that the spout that comes off is most containers don't have a penis. That one does, and it's usually curved. Anyway, it's just throwing it out there.
Also, penises don't come with a handle, so they come with a handle with care.
I don't know where you've been around. Like, I think has a handle on it. Well, you guys just don't have handles.
I've never
You go to
seen
a
one with a
fucking
handle.
doctor.
I'm sorry, that must be something new. You got penis 2.0, didn't you? I have 1.0. It really sucks.
Any more feedback, you guys?
I have nothing more for you.
No, I'm good.
All right,
Nope.
sweet. We're gonna go back around. This is gonna be the part where you do regular jokes, or if you want to go on an anti-Semitic rant, this is where you do it. So fuck. Who was first last time? Shit.
I was first.
All right, you go then.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm good. This is a bit I worked on this workshop show last week. I'm not really good in social situations. Like I have a hard time paying attention, and I don't know what it is. Like I don't know what to call it. Like in India, we never really went to a doctor to figure out what it's called. Like you guys call it ADHD, autism. In India, we just call it being weird. But I'm working on my communication skills, and I mean they're not really bad all around. Like I do small body language things to communicate with other people. Like I remember when I was 15, back in India, it was summer. Me and my girlfriend, we were in a park, we were making out. It was amazing. you know it was my first time making out, so I was just going crazy. People were looking at us weird, but I didn't care because I had a boner. you know I just wasn't thinking straight. Like it had rained the day before, so there were mosquitoes around, and my girlfriend was worried about malaria, and I was like, don't worry, it only takes 2 weeks to recover. you know I was just too much into it. But as we were making out, my girlfriend, she pulled away and she told me that she saw two men dressed in green. I turned around, and to my horror, it was two police officers. Now that it's bad because it's not really legal or okay to make out in a park in India. And as the cops started coming towards us, I told her to start walking the other way, and I started walking towards the police officers. Now, I was confident because I had just learned a trick online a few days ago. Like I had learned that if you put your palm up towards a person, it calms the person down, and diffuses the whole tension of any situation. So I started walking towards the police officers with my palms up, and they slapped me. And I looked down and I thought maybe I should try this without an erection. I don't know. Uh, I've been single since the pandemic started. I've been using dating apps, but they haven't really been working for me. Like I don't really know why. Like whatever they want, it seems I don't have it. Like all the relationships I've ever had, they've started with me, talking to the girl in person. And I think that's because that's when my personality can shine. Like I think maybe it's because I don't really have any flashy picture. Maybe my picture game is not good. Like I don't have any flashy pictures on my profile like other guys, but there's a good reason for that. Like I haven't uploaded a picture of me in my car because I don't have a car. And I don't know, man. It just sometimes it gets a bit frustrating because like there are so many beautiful girls on the app. I'm like a kid in a candy store, but without any money. You know, I don't know. I did actually get recently get a match on Hinge. It's a dating app, and we were having a good conversation, but it wasn't going to work out because there was an issue. Now the issue wasn't her looks. or her personality, but something deeper. The issue was geometry, the science of shapes. She was fat, a humongous bitch. Not even one laugh. Okay. I don't know. I mean, she wasn't really fat. She was just, she was just taller than me, and I don't know why she was, talking to me. I mean, I didn't mind talking to her because, I think vaginas are cool, and no, actually, I stopped talking to her. I actually ghosted her because, I wasn't attracted to her. But then I felt bad because I ghosted her, so I went back and I started acting like an asshole, so she would end the conversation from her side. But we talked for a little while, but then we stopped talking because she blocked me, and yeah, I don't know. I've had quite a lot of crazy relationships in my life. I mean, like back in India, there was a girl. She was crazy. I mean, like I was quite young. She was a bit older than me. She was quite into me, and she was funny and she had a good personality. But I didn't want to date her because she was black. Now she wasn't black. She was Indian black, like a darker shade of Indian. So we're good here. Jesus Christ. All right, that's it.
Oh man, that was shit. Yeah, that was hilarious. You guys have any
Yeah.
feedback?
I like your car gag. I like the timing on the one I haven't posted a photo of me in my car because I don't have a car.
Mm.
I do have one question though. It's a human what, bitch? I missed that gag altogether.
Which one? Sorry.
A human something? You were talking
Human?
about.
The fat joke.
Is that what it was? Because
Yeah. The joke is she's fat, and it's such a the way I do the joke. i- People are in shock, and then I say humongous bitch. Oh my god, fat fucking bitch, and that's how I just double down and I get a bigger laugh.
Oh yeah, okay. I see where you're
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
I like your talking about making out in India and how it's a really quick line to just boil it down to. Sex in India is sex outdoors in India is different. You don't worry about getting pregnant. You worry about catching malaria. That to me is that was a really kind of a neat sort of concept. And that actually was the one thing I was
No.
going to say. What I really kind of liked what you're doing is when you're at your best when you're making those comparisons between Canadian culture and your Indian culture as well. That's the one you have that leg up that nobody else has. You have that insight into what goes on over there, and if you can bring more of that into that, because I think that's an interesting thing to explore. Not
No,
just. Sorry, go
I
ahead.
understand what. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's one other thing. Just which is again, this is a cultural thing. When the cop slapped you, I would refer to it. He gave me a high five rather than slap me because I wasn't quite sure what. It's correct. He slapped your hand, but as you went on, I got the impression that basically he wasn't saying, "Hey, don't have sex." He was saying, "Hey, you had sex, so here, let me give you a high five." So if you refer to it a high five in Canada, it'll probably resonate a little better because they'll understand what you're talking about.
No, the thing is, he slapped me, and then I realized that maybe I should do the hand thing. The whole the whole bit is about communication. Maybe I'm not coming through properly
Okay,
through this
it's
medium
possible. It's
of
possible. Yeah.
Zoom. And the joke, yeah, this joke has worked. I just did that last week in a park, and it had, there were like 5 people, but it worked okay in that. So
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't. Yeah, the joke about India, it's not about a comparison about having sex in a park or something. The joke is that I had a boner. It was my first time making out, and she was worried about malaria, but I was like, don't worry, it only takes 2 weeks to recover. The joke is that I didn't care because I had a boner. Maybe it didn't come through this medium. I don't know.
No,
Is that true?
go ahead.
Sorry. I thought that joke about taking 2 weeks to recover was like she might get malaria, but if she hooks up with me, she needs 2 weeks to recover because you're so good. I thought that's what the joke was.
No.
Yeah, I got the malarial connection, but I just thought it would just boil it down a little bit, just because it is kind of I never thought of that until you said it, and I went, oh, that's kind of funny. Malaria or pregnancy? Well, I'm not worried about pregnancy, but if I catch malaria, it's something. Again, culturally, it's different over here. We wouldn't think about that, but when you bring that to light, yeah. No. I'm not. I'm sorry. Don't take this as me making any judgment calls or anything like that. I'm just thinking about it. What I'm hearing from you and thinking that how I would respond to that.
No, the bit it's about the starting was it was my first time making out, so I was just going crazy. People were looking at us weird, but I didn't care because I had a boner. So that's basically the premise of the second joke. That's just me, applying some attitude to that.
I got that. I'm totally understanding.
Yeah. After that, the malaria joke is I didn't care, and like it had rained the day before, so there were mosquitoes around, and my girlfriend was worried about malaria, like from mosquitoes, literal mosquitoes. And I was like, don't worry, it only takes 2 weeks to recover.
Wait, hold on. You can get malaria from mosquitoes?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. Wow, that's wild. There are mosquitoes
Well,
everywhere. That's scary.
Well, they have to be a special kind.
Yeah, that's
in a special area.
That's why I moved here. That's why I moved to Canada. Yeah, that's a third world country thing.
That cat was like the highlight of my night so far.
Oh my gosh, same.
Oh, mine.
Yes. Yeah. Where is it? Where's the cat?
Well, she's down to my left right now. She might jump up again for all I know.
The stuff cat.
So you guys have any more feedback?
I have one question and one statement. The question is, it's like you turn around, you saw 2 green people, and they turn out to be the cops, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I might have missed the reference to people in green being cops.
He'll explain it. Sorry.
No, I mean, it's just me, conveying that, building some mystery into the mystery and some anticipation to the whole joke, because later in the joke, they slap me, and I'm just building the joke up.
But why?
That's why I say
I look aliens.
Well, they're green. They're green because correct me if I'm wrong. That's the police uniform. Is green, correct?
Okay, that's what I was trying to understand, because here, and I think in like cops wear blue. That's why I was like, so if you're gonna tell that joke, I don't know, anywhere outside of we are maybe just because it wasn't obvious to me, because in my life cops don't wear green. That's just what I wanted.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. I could probably change that.
Because I was like, green people, aliens, like what?
Yeah, there's no use in confusing the audience before the punchline.
Yeah.
And
then
the other... Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine.
I was gonna say, what if you thought since they were in green, it was gonna be cops, but then you look down and you guys have been making out on a pot of gold, and then it was leprechauns. Never mind. Sorry.
And then the statement is, "Wow, you really like meeting girls in parks." I was waiting for the punchline to be, it was the first time I was making out and something tasted really weird. Turned out she was on Molly or something like that.
No, it's just a true story. Most of my material is just true stories that happened, and I just embellished them a little bit.
That's the best kind of a joke, Strict facts with slight embellishments. I love those. You guys have any more feedback?
Nothing for me.
No, I'm done.
All right, sweet. Who? Michael, you were second, right? Or
yeah, I guess it's me now.
Been fucked up. All right, let me know when you're ready to begin, and I will start your time.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sweet.
First of all, I just want to mention how great it is to be a part of this tonight. My girlfriend was excited about it as well, thinking that she might be on camera. She actually got a Brazilian, and he seems like a decent dude, so I'm into it. I'll explain a little about my history. I'm originally from Lethbridge, which is about 2 hours south of Calgary. And I don't know how much you know about southern Alberta, but we got a lot of Mormons down there. I dated one myself. Meeting her parents was awkward, sitting down with her mother and her father and her mother and her mother and her mother and her mother. That was a little bit strange. I didn't grow up as a Mormon myself, despite the large population down there. I went to Catholic school. I'm no longer doing that, which is great because it means all my sex is consensual now. What else about me? I've got epilepsy. I have left temporal lobe epilepsy. So I have seizures, but they're not even the cool ones where you're like, I just black out for 30 seconds. Although speaking of my girlfriend earlier, she doesn't mind those very much because those can be really depending on where you are. We've had some COVID struggles around here recently. For Lease has expanded their franchise like crazy. I myself lost my job, like a lot of people did, to this whole COVID. Now I've got a lot of alone time, a lot of hanging out with my cats, a lot of hanging out with my cats. That actually came to bite me in the ass the other day because my girlfriend and I's car, it connects to both our phones, and what came up on the screen was a connection to my phone that came up as PORNHU ... And she looks over at me and she's kind of like, what's that about? And I was kind of scrambling and panicked and really embarrassed. And I tried to Google as quick as I could. If anybody needs me later, I'm now enrolled in the Porjuma Universidad de Malaga in Spain. Joke's on her, though. I'm studying Estudio Sexo. Oh, my goodness. What else can you tell me? Can I tell you about me? A bit of an adventurous guy. I've used aftershave. I consider myself a bit of a home chef. The other day, I made my own garlic butter by adding garlic to butter. Learned a lot of that from my grandmother, which is really interesting because coming up, my grandmother is celebrating on October 24th her 92nd birthday, for crying out loud. 92 years of this woman being in a house that's full of cookie tins, and you open them all up and it's just a bunch of fucking buttons. I don't understand what that is. Crying out loud. So she's got 4 kids herself, a lot of grandchildren. Obviously, I'm one of them. My girlfriend and I, however, do not want kids. She has an IUD. And if you don't know what an IUD stands for, it stands for I am the greatest girlfriend on the face of the earth. You dig? She's a Canucks fan herself. She's out of Vancouver. Refers to it as Vagina Luongo. Back to back shout outs, this guy. He's a real pleasure, this dude. It disappoints my mother, though, because she's desperate for grandchildren, and my brother, my sister, and I all don't want them. So we were just thinking of helping her out because she's be excited about anything that comes out my girlfriend's way. We could shove a toaster oven up there; she could push it back out, and they're like, "Congratulations, it's a Breville!" Be a really exciting day for her. One more thing about the drag shows that I wanted to mention, about the COVID thing that I wanted to mention is that I really like drag shows. I'm not even kidding. And they had shut down for a while, but thankfully they're back up and running because it's the only place in the world where I can go and scream out, "Nice tits!" And everybody looks at me and they're like, "Well, yeah, actually, I agree with the gentleman. The chest protrusions are quite realistic. It's very engaging." Anyway, that's all I got for tonight. Thanks a bunch.
Woo!
All right.
That's awesome. You guys have any feedback?
You have a very engaging delivery. That's something we concentrate a lot on material, but your delivery, there's a few times when you stopped and you're kind of, you drew us in with my grandmother is this, and it was very well done. And a lot of what you're doing, the vast majority of it, very sharp, very, very sharp. Not everybody's going to get the Breville reference that you gave, but still really, really good stuff there. I can't. Did I have a note here for something I did? No, just great delivery. That's what I wrote down here because it was a great delivery. Way to go. I hate you already.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I really like that. That was like you had one of my favorite sets so far on this thing. But when you said your brother and your sister and you don't want kids, I thought you were setting up like an incest joke.
No, that certainly wasn't the intention. Going back to the Breville thing, that was. I'm not a giant fan of that gag because I'm struggling so much with how to set it up and how to deliver it. So I don't know if anybody has any suggestions as to what kind of sentence I could go into it with, or if there's
The what thing? The what thing?
Which
Sorry.
one? Which one?
the Breville, the gag where it's basically we could shove a toaster oven up my girlfriend, she could push it back out, and we'd all scream, "Congratulations at the Breville!" I think the punchline's there, but I'm struggling so much with figuring out how to get there in the first place.
What's a Breville?
That's where your problem is going to be. It's a brand name, a very good, generally very good appliances.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if there's anybody out there that has a universally Black & Decker does some stuff, but I don't know whether that would be too identified with tools. But yeah, otherwise it's I hear you where you're coming from on that.
I really enjoyed the garlic to butter joke. I think that's a good throwaway line, you know.
That should not be funny, and it's like my favorite gag. I don't know why.
I know. I have similar jokes. I mean, I have similar jokes, and I like them. The ones that I have because I think they're stupid. The ones that I have, okay. I'm not saying it. The ones that I have, you know, more like Louis C.K. does a lot of throwaway jokes before he, you know, goes to his main joke, and those are always dumb. And that's why I love them, you know, and that's why I have some of them in my act too. But that's a great joke, the garlic butter joke. What was it again? What was the whole joke again? Sorry. I made garlic.
I consider myself.
Sorry.
Yeah, I consider myself a bit of a home chef. The other day, I made my own garlic butter by adding garlic
to butter. Yeah, it's just the timing, the throwaway timing, and that just really makes the joke, and you know. You can just push past that quickly and go to your main punchline, and you know. I think Sarah Silverman had she explained a throwaway joke. I think that's where I learned it in her special. So yeah, good joke.
I also like the for lease thing. That was really good.
Yeah.
For lease.
That one sneaks up on you. I think a lot of people would go, well, what's the franchise for lease? And then it'll be, for lease.
Yeah, like what would that be like as a company? Like, what if they actually were one? It'd be like,
for lease?
Like Rent-A-Center. Well, I don't know if you guys have Rent-A-Center in Canada.
I'm familiar with what it is in the U.S., but I don't think we have them up here.
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
For lease. Let me see. I don't know where they'll go. Great set, though. You guys have any more feedback?
The mic was off. Great.
Okay.
What's
a Rent-A-Center? Oh, that's this place where you go and they have like couches and TVs and shit, and it's all for rent. So people rent a fucking TV. It's weird. I don't know. It's I guess
so you can rent some furniture.
Yeah, like everything they have there is for rent, and if people don't pay it, then it gets repoed. I guess I don't know, but it's like shit that you wouldn't normally rent. You know, like a couch.
Like so, if you go to buy rent a couch, do you have to take a black light with you to check or? To make sure everything's clean, and you don't get pregnant on it if you're a lady and you sleep naked. I don't know.
I mean, if it was fucking, you go to hey, I'd like to rent a couch, and they deliver it to your house, and it's fucking dripping with cum, I think you know this without a black light. It's like fucking
you don't.
targeted thumb.
Yeah, you don't really need a plan. Yeah.
Okay, I don't have any more feedback. Thank you.
Oh, sweet. All right.
All
we
right.
can move on. Yay. Kelly, you're up next, right?
Oh, this is gonna be a tough act to follow. But I'm gonna do it anyway.
Sweet.
So I just decided to forego all of my usual content, and I wanted to give myself a challenge because I normally do more like storytelling type sets. So I decided to try and write a bunch of one-liners. So it's pretty short, but this is what I got. Okay. So I'm really fascinated by the concept of time, and especially because of COVID and talking to people in different continents and the whole idea of time zones. And the other day, when I was in a Zoom meeting with a bunch of international people, we were saying, oh, we know it's daylight savings, or people are turning back their clocks. It's not Eastern Central Time, it's Eastern Time. And people were like, okay, well, what is the time zone in South Africa? When do you change your time zone? And I was like, well, we don't ever change our time zone. It's always the same because we're just lazy and we don't ever want to change, which is basically the motto that our government lives by. Speaking of change, the only time people in South Africa ask me to change is when I'm stopped at a traffic light and someone comes and asks me and I don't have any on me. Oh, great, I know. So I battle with consistency, but during COVID, the only thing that remained the same was my weight, surprisingly. But even though I'm like very self-conscious, every time I get on the scale, it says no way. I hate.
That's a good joke. That's a good joke.
Really?
Yeah,
I feel
it's a
so
good
bad.
joke, dude.
Thanks. I really hate when people want to talk politics and they're like, are you left wing? Are you right wing? And I'm just like, I'm so indecisive. I can't decide what part of the chicken wing I like. But I have so much stomach fat that I'm starting to look like an overused tire. I guess I need to get a bit jacked up because I really need a wheel change. Dating in South Africa has not been very fruitful, and I think that's because we export all of our Class A fruits overseas, which is basically much the same with dating, where we do the same to our men, which basically only leaves us with Model C schools, which gives our kids a B-rate education. I've decided to relook. I love the idea of romance and rom-coms and love. But I know that I need to change the way I view that because there's the modern world of love and romance. I've made the following adaptation. So I realized that love comes and ghosts. Cool. I was once at a party with some people and we were talking about famous celebrities that we have crushes on, and someone was like, "Oh, I really like Greg Egbert," and they were like, "Who's that?" And she goes, "It's my husband." I thought that was really sweet. I'll try and clean that one up a bit. Okay, my final one. I find that humans tend to be quite a lot like computers. They overheat and tend to break down. My only gripe with that is that I wish that they came with notifications like slow down, need new batteries, or silent mode activated. That's it.
Oh, sweet. Yay.
All right.
Do you guys have any feedback?
Yeah, the government.
I'm envious of your no way game.
That's a great thing.
Thanks. Okay, cool. I'll keep that.
Let me see.
The government joke was really good, sister, and the no way joke was really good. I want to clear something out. What was the joke about wheel change? Like fat belly, you were talking about fat belly or something, or you being fat, and just being
Yeah.
really, really big and fat, and what was that joke? Sorry, wheel change.
So basically, I have so much stomach fat that I'm starting to look like an overused tire. So I need to get jacked up just because I need a wheel change. So it's like wordplay on tire, jacked up, wheel change.
You've never heard the term spare tire?
Yeah.
Oh no, Jimmy, what the fuck?
Oh no, where'd he
He's a
go?
good man.
Moment of silence.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know that reference.
Okay,
You know, the wheel change and thing and stuff.
okay, I'll work on that.
Either I'm not man enough or you're a lesbian.
Maybe a
I'm
bit of
so
both. Eh?
confused.
Do you
Anyway,
get the joke? Nope. Okay.
Sure.
What about the comes and goes?
Oh yeah, like love. So like people always talk about how love comes and goes, but I'm like love comes in ghosts.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, I get it.
Yeah,
Now.
that gag's a fun.
oh, see, when you said comes and goes, I thought you meant like coming in a ghost. Now I get it, like, because I'm really stupid. But yeah,
Comes and ghosts.
it's a good one.
Yeah, I should deliver
Yeah,
that better.
I couldn't hear it the first time. Comes and ghosts. I think it's because of the platform we're on. The audio is not clear enough, I guess.
You're not holding it to your ears.
Yeah. I
Maybe
mean,
get some like duct tape.
maybe
or
it's
something.
just me. Sorry?
If you get some like duct tape and like wrap it around, that might help. Because you don't have to press it to your ears then.
I mean, I don't know. Like like when we were talking about my material, there were huge chunks that would have helped, that were there for the punchline that didn't really come off clearly on this. So
Kylie, I
yeah.
might need an
Anyway.
education on something. Oh, sorry. Kylie, I might need an education on something from you. Can you give me the Model C B-rated education gag again?
Sure. So basically, South Africa likes to export all of our grade A fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Which is much like what they do, leaving us with all like the B-rate men. And then I kind of said, so Model C school is basically you don't get Model C in the States, no?
Not where I'm from.
Okay.
That's where I need the education. And is there
Okay.
something about, is that a forgive me for sounding ignorant, the whole fruit and exporting the men thing, is that a gay joke of some kind that I'm just not getting? Is that or
No, I think I didn't word it well enough,
No.
but so it's like, so I think I need to say more to that line, because it's, so we export all of our grade A fruit, and very much we do much the same with our grade A men, leaving people in South Africa with only B grade men, so like not the best class of man.
okay.
And then I was trying to do like play with the A B C thing, and then the only C I could find was like Model C school, which isn't. It's as in like you like get private, and then you get government, and in between you get like Model C, which is sort of like in between. But I could definitely word that better.
Why is South Africa exporting all of their grade A men? That's an actual question. Is there something I'm not familiar with here, with dudes going
Why
away?
are we exporting our men?
Yeah.
I don't think it's not so much as like we're exporting them, much as like they want to leave. I don't know. I don't know.
Why do they want to leave?
Why do they want to leave? For better opportunity. To get out of a third world country.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll work on that.
What you might be able to do is the concept of you said about they export the grade A fruit and the grade A men, and the only men left are marked down for quick sale. I don't know if you have.
That's smart. Okay,
I like that. Yeah.
thanks. That's great.
And that gets you to it a little bit faster, which is, again, I think last time I said the same thing to you. If you can get to your punchline a little bit quicker, it'll probably work in your favor.
Yeah. All right.
It's great. You guys have any more feedback?
I got nothing. Oh, is it 100%. This is more like a South African education system for me than anything else. You guys, there's no daylight savings time in South Africa. Is that accurate?
That's 100% accurate.
There
We've
isn't.
never
Okay.
changed our times.
Right. Okay, and we've got yeah. Okay, so that makes sense because we've got a place up here that doesn't change.
Yeah. I was saying that the not wanting to change thing was.
I can't remember. Is there any?
Sorry.
Hang on, I'm just gonna have a snack of Amber here.
I think you cut out there. I missed that totally.
Michael, you're coming on and off.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have nothing else. I'm good.
Okay.
I thought the whole not wanting to change thing was setting up an apartheid joke. All right, any more feedback, you guys? The daylight saving time? Okay, sweet. All right, Jimmy, you're up next. Let me know when you're ready to
All
begin.
right.
I will start your time.
Okay. We have kids. Are people still doing that? Having kids? We have 3 kids. For Father's Day, they got me a DNA test. Apparently, their mother's word wasn't good enough. Little Rajesh was particularly insistent. 2 of my kids have got tattoos, which I find really weird because, you know, that's really cool when you get it. The designs and what have you. It's like if I put on a leisure suit in 1970 and continued to wear it till today, basically after 1979, no one is going to look at me and go, wow, what a bold fashion statement that is. That's what's going to happen with a tattoo over time. Does anybody here have tattoos? You're all, one person. What do you have, Ambrish? What is your tattoo? Oh, my Lord. I don't know why I did a follow-up question because I suck at crowd work, but it's very nice. I suck at crowd work, but my sarcasm is unbeatable. No, I wonder about people who get portrait tattoos. You know, you got to figure somewhere's out there is a guy with Bill Cosby on his arm who hasn't had sex for years. Probably doesn't help that he's got Harvey Weinstein on the other arm. That just really doesn't work out, I think, for most guys. And I don't think that tattoos and alcohol go together very well. You know, you turn around and you have a few drinks and you go to have a tattoo, and next thing you know, you're getting a cross put on your chest or one of those Baptist fish things put on your arm, which is very awkward, especially if you're Muslim. You know, nobody wants to kneel next to you for prayers. You're the last one to find out about the jihad. It's just the way that thing works. That's very brief. That's all I got.
All right, sweet. Yeah, you guys have any feedback?
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
I like
What
that
was the?
DNA
Go ahead.
I like that DNA test joke. I think there's more you can do with it. Explore. I'm not too sure exactly what, but it's a really good premise for another joke. But like what happens when they found out that you were either the dad or not the dad? Like what was the next Father's Day like, or something like that.
Yeah.
And sorry, what was the first joke again? I didn't hear it properly.
The very first joke was that, to cut it down to its meat, was that for Father's Day, my kids got me a DNA test. Apparently their mother's word wasn't good enough. Little Rajesh was particularly insistent. Oh, disappeared. And that was the full of it. I think there is something else there too. I do agree with you, Kylie. I just have never been able to come up with DNA jokes at work. That's just another one of my attempts to do it. Because the best
You
DNA
could go
joke.
into like a kidnapping joke or something.
In what context?
Well, hold on.
I'm trying to.
Yeah,
I'm trying to leave the actual parentage kind of up in the air with that joke.
Yeah.
It's open to interpretation.
It's very crass. So, and it's definitely not your style, but I was like, and again, this is very clumsy wording, but it's like,
Go ahead.
So it's like, okay, well, they got you a DNA test, but the only test that ever came out positive was like some kind of STI test. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I can think of on the fly. But there's definitely more to that DNA joke.
How long
What
do
about-
you? Sorry, go ahead. I just have a separate off-topic question. So,
No, you can go ahead and ask that. I love those.
Go ahead,
uh,
Emrich.
after how long do you think you should throw a joke out, or put it in a file if it doesn't work? Because I have this joke that has worked only 2 times. I've tried it a bunch of ways. It doesn't work. And I don't want to give it, I don't want to stop doing it because I love it, but it doesn't work for some reason. After how long do you think you should, stop doing a joke?
Well, if it's a joke that only works for a certain audience and you manage to get a joke, maybe they get a laugh twice out of 20 times, the joke isn't worth your time, because you want jokes that are going to get laughs all the time, not the one that goes to a special audience.
I mean, I don't want to pander to everyone, but
Mhm.
I mean, it's the joke that I did today. Like there are so many talking about dating apps. There are so many beautiful girls on the app. I'm like a kid in a candy store, but without any money.
Then maybe the joke just needs work. That might be your issue. If it's not consistently getting a laugh, and you still want to do it, then you have to find a way to turn it around until it finally will get. And that will happen. I had a joke that I did in the 70s that I started off, which I really loved. I said I would, I was very tall, but I think women were intimidated by me, but they didn't want to dance cheek to kneecap. That joke never got a laugh. And then I brought it back when I started doing comedy again, but I turned it over to say that cheek to testicle. And all of a sudden I got the laugh. And I also had the follow-up joke, which is also known as ballroom dancing. But it is a case of
Brilliant.
there we go. And that's the reaction.
Right.
That's the reaction it always gets. It's and that oddly enough was an ad lib on stage where it suddenly came to me. But the point is, I could continue. I thought kneecap was very, very good. And I did it repeatedly, never worked. But when I did turn it to the other way, that's where the joke was. And like I said, sometimes we mistake a laugh here and then as this is something good and we have to save. And I see it all the time, I think, with a lot of comedians where I go to shows and I never hear them. They're doing the same material and I never hear anybody laugh at it. But somebody must have at some point in time, or why would it be in their act?
Oh, no. I mean, sometimes you see people who never write anything. They just have the same thing and they do it, all the time, and it never gets a laugh. That's not the case with this joke. I mean, the 2 times I've got the laugh on this joke, they were pretty good. And the message I'm trying to get through about, me not having any money, that really resonates, and that can continue on to me doing the fat joke and all of the rest of the jokes, and it's a good starting joke for that whole bit.
How many
times
does it not work? You've told us it worked twice. How many times has it not worked?
I don't know.
Ballpark. How many?
6 or 7 times, I guess.
What do you think that means?
I didn't want to lose it, man. Come on.
Well, you might have.
It's a beautiful joke.
You might have done something different those 2 times than you do all the other times. You might have worded it differently or something. So, like they say, it's good to record yourself.
That's the valid point.
Back.
But for whatever it's worth, Jack Benny on his radio program, had a joke that he loved. He tried it 3 times and it never worked. And it was, I need that like a moose needs a hat rack. He loved that joke. And he tried it 3 times over 3 years and it never got a laugh. And I think on the last time he made some comment about the writer who said it wouldn't get a laugh, what have you. But that happens. Comedians do fall in love with a joke, but you can't fall in love with a joke that doesn't work consistently. Unless you've got a huge body of laughs around it, and it can become, because sometimes if you've got a run going, it's good to have a joke that doesn't go over well to give the audience a chance to kind of recover a little bit and then hit them with something else strong. But if it's not doing anything for you and the stuff on either side of it isn't doing anything for it, it might not be worth saving even if you love it. Sometime around, you're going to write a lot of material in your time, and you're going to have to throw some of the old stuff away. So
I mean, or I could just use the trick where, I put it in my tight five, and between the jokes, I can just say, after I tell that joke, I'll just say, one for you, one for me. I'll just take the easy road, and, you get the laugh that way sometimes, you know. But yeah,
Okay,
okay.
so
Anyway, back
yeah,
to you.
all
Sorry.
right. So, is there any more feedback on Jimmy's like for you? Because I'm like, let's go. I'm trying to remember like your set and shit. I'm like, don't lose it, don't lose it. I think it's fucking completely erased now.
That's why we carry a notepad.
I don't do that shit. What notes? God, preparedness.
Well, I can understand this being your first time you've hosted, so
Yeah, I'm an amateur. This shit.
Yeah.
You got top-notch water can humor, though.
Yeah, but he's been working on that for years, Michael.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, this is my life's work you're talking about.
exactly.
Obviously, it's amazing. No, seriously, any more feedback though, guys?
None for me.
okay, sounds like we're done.
Fuck.
Bilal, what are you going to bring to us tonight?
Oh, sweet. I gotta trying to refurbish some jokes because there were a few that like you were talking about Ambrish. I always loved, but they wouldn't get a laugh, so I tried to rearrange shit. Here we go. Okay, so the other day, I went over a girl's house, and she just had like a bag of raw hamburger meat just sitting in the corner. Like, it wasn't even like a regular size bag either. It was like a fucking clear trash bag just full of raw meat. And I was like, what the? Is she like fucking raising tigers or something? So I was like, hey, do you have any pets? And she was like, yesterday I was playing fetch with my dog, and I accidentally threw the stick into a wood chipper. Let me see. You think that like the people who tailgate you when you're driving are the same people who haunt you as ghosts? Because I feel like it's like the same thing, but like while you're still alive, it's like I don't know whether you like drive fast and then you buy like a pickup truck to tailgate people, or you like where there's like they got like a wizard in the pickup truck factory, just like fast driving spell, fast driving spell. Because I don't know if people know, like when you're on the freeway, like careening down it in a can, like you're always a blink of an eye away from being an idiot flavored death pancake. um, let me see. The worst part, like I don't ever want to get famous because I feel like the worst part about being famous is like you're gonna have to deal with time travel shenanigans. Because like if you're just a regular person, like no one's gonna come back in time and mess with you. But like if you're famous, so you could just have people like just popping up and just like punch you in the dick and then like running off, and like someone just like comes out and they're like, "Hey, are you the guy that invented the retard helmet?" And you're like, "Yeah," and they just like punch you and like, "You fucking ruined my childhood, you bag of shit," and they just like disappear. Um, I get pulled over a lot, and every time I get pulled over, the cops always want to search my car. I think it's because I kind of act like the guy in Scooby Doo that they want you to think did it. You know when someone's being really nosy and you see it about to fuck them over, but they keep going, so you're like, all right, whatever happens, happens. Because they always look in your car like they're gonna find some big ass stash of drugs or something. Then they pop your trunk and find a Footlocker full of baby heads. Like, oh, I've never seen those baby heads in my life, officer. They're not mine. Uh, you want some peanuts? These are mine. I bought them. I bought them at the store. So I was raping a pile of dead babies the other day, and I was thinking, you think anyone's ever been walking in the woods and they see a bear, and the bear sees them, and like, oh fuck, this bear's about
Dead
to kill me. So they go to run, they like twist their ankle and they fall, and now the bear's standing over them and just looks at them, and it's like, I don't hate you, but if you died, I wouldn't be sad. You just walk off into the sunset. I had a friend who jerked off 6 million Jews. We called him Beat Off Hitler. I used to think that Nicolas Cage was just where they put you when you don't have any nickels.
Oh, that just feels to me.
Hmm. You think that Asians have a tactical advantage because they can blink faster because their eyelids are closer together? Because I'm kind of jealous. Like all those blinks probably add up. Like I might get my eyelids surgically lengthened or something because it's like life you're missing out on. No, it's time. It's time you can never get back. You think the airports have ever had to delay flights because their butthole scanners were down? Because the guy who's like, I need to be on that plane. I need to be in New York by 5. And I'm like, sorry, sir, we can't let you on that plane. Our butthole scanners are down. What if other places work like that? Like you go to buy some gas, and the clerk is like, now, before we let you on this, I'm fucking up. Before we give you access to this water hose full of liquid explosive, I'm gonna need to scan your butthole. Because it's not like 1984 yet, but it's like November of 1983. Okay, I'm about to be gone, just like that shooting pain that happens every once in a while that you always forget to mention to your doctor. And it's probably nothing. You're fine. All right, thanks, guys. You have any feedback?
I'm just
Woo!
curious.
That's a good start.
Yes. I am just curious. What were all those jokes ones you've had trouble with, or was there one in particular that you really love that you want to work that isn't working?
Yeah.
Let me see. Well, the one about the airports, like I wanted to work, and also let me see, the bag of hamburger meat one, and most of those jokes actually, like the tailgating one, the time travel one, like all of them, I guess, or whatever you got.
The bag of meat one may be a really tough sell because a lot of dog lovers really dogging a wood chipper isn't going to go over. It's going to be easier to put the neighbor in the wood chipper than the dog, basically.
Yeah.
Well, no, like that one, like it always gets to like, oh, but I mean that might be like as good as a laugh, but like I don't know, I can never tell. But
Whether you're just getting a reaction or whether you're getting a laugh reaction.
yeah,
Is that
because
what you're
that
saying?
like for the past like week I've been trying to open up with that one, and like it always like I don't know. It's either like I try to give people time to like think about it, but like I don't know if it. A lot of people
You know
don't look at
what?
it
When
like
you get past the wood chipper part, why don't you say, "I wonder if that's why PETA has been trying to contact me," or something to that effect, just to because then you're distancing yourself from the joke, and you give them an opportunity to laugh. It's where maybe they have been a little on edge laughing at that joke, but that gives them license to actually laugh at the joke now because of the PETA reference.
Yeah, maybe because the thing I was worried about was like the time it would take to move on to the next joke. Like people will like start reacting to that one. So I was trying to think of like something that would make it like quicker. Because it normally takes like a good like 5 or to 10 seconds for people to like think for some reason. I don't know why. Just like if there was a way to like shorten it.
Yeah. My girlfriend had a big bag of meat in the corner. There was a wood chipper outside, and the dog was missing. Just cut down to those elements of the story.
Maybe yeah, because like I was like to make it more clear. I mean, like to try to just make it clear, but not be like too heavy-handed. I don't know.
Too not completely on the nose.
Yeah.
I got a new wood chipper and a new dog. Now I just have a new wood chipper.
What about any of the other ones? You guys have anything for those?
I got hung up on the first one. Sorry. After this, you're on your own. Sorry.
Ah. Let's see.
The November gag is great. Idiot flavored death pancake is a fantastic phrase that I refuse to allow you to ever get rid of for the rest of your life. And your baby heads gag timing there on the transition was really nice. Anyway,
All right.
don't throw those into the wood chipper.
Okay. Sweet. Any more feedback, you guys?
Mm-mm.
Alrighty. Well, this concludes another episode of the workshop, I guess. This is the part that always makes me sad. Now is the time where if you have anything to plug, if you have any social media or podcasts, or if you just want to go on an anti-Semitic rant, this is where you do it. Michael, you're up first. You have anything?
Yeah, we just opened a new open mic show here in Calgary. If you're watching from there, it's Trop Comedy at the Trop every Wednesday. You can search Trop Comedy on Facebook or look me up myself, and I'll have the information for you. Hosted by me every week. We've had a good couple of opening weeks, so we're looking forward to keeping this going.
Cool. Kylie?
Cool. So just started a podcast because what self-respecting dinner party guest doesn't have one? It's called Hard Topics, like HARD Topics, and you can find us on the gram at Hard Topics Podcast and also on Facebook with the same name. I do some improvised comedy with a troupe called The Second Liners. And I also am involved in a global comedy project called Close Distance. Yeah, that's me.
Cool. Ambrish?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel where I've got some Omegle videos. I write a bunch of jokes and I tell them to random people online. I've started doing sort of a sketch thing. It's basically my name on YouTube, Ambrish Singh, and look for an Indian guy with black hair, really good looking, and
I've seen him in person. He really is a treat.
Ooh.
Last but not least, Jimmy England, you have anything?
Yeah, my podcast, Back to the Balcony. We're into our 50th year now. Been going on for a while. It's a look at movies from the 60s and 70s. We have a lot of fun with that. And if you're saying, well, I'm going to hold off before I download it, we are working on our big December 15th Christmas project, which is going to be on radio, the comedy station here in town. And we've been recording it, starting it, and it's got songs, and it's got some comedians on there who are really, really funny. And there is a story all to it, and went over very well last year when we tried it for the very first time. And the reason we are doing it is because we have run out of movies from the 60s and 70s that are Christmas themed, and the only thing left is Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. So we either have to talk about that or we have to do an original show. So December 15th, the Fandango Christmas Cookie Incident is coming out. Make sure you catch it. Also make sure you catch us for our regular podcast as well.
All right, sweet. Thus concludes another thrilling episode of the workshop.
Thrilling episode.
Stick it around, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.